Welcome back, friends, to APAC North. We continue on with our matches. FNATIC versus Cyclops Athlete Gaming about to start our final game for today. It has been a very action-packed, competitive day 3, that is, of Stage 2. I'm Master Medic, your host. With me are Fresh and Fabian. Fabian, would you like to talk to us about FNATIC?
Yeah, I mean, I've basically got 4 words in my preparation for FNATIC, and it says same shit as always. They don't know how to attack, they barely know how to defend, and they keep bashing their head against the wall until that head is bleeding out of every single place that they could. They just keep doing the same stuff over and over. They're not playing good. They're not playing Siege properly. It doesn't really matter that they've made a player change because they haven't actually changed anything in the actual way of playing. So I don't have anything to say about them, and it really sucks.
But Mag has made it. He's in Japan
He's in Japan, but he's not playing. So the thing is, I don't even think that Mag coming in would make that big of a difference. Sure, he might have more ideas on how to play, but it feels like the entire team is just stuck in their way of playing Siege, and they have no idea what they're doing. That's it. Like they just don't feel like they know what they are doing. And it's one of those things. I've prepared a little bit of information. If we can bring up that screen with FNATIC again, please. And we're talking about cost, like simple stuff like this. We're looking at FNATIC's cost, and we have 3 players that are on the 50 mark or just above it. We're like just 52, 57. We're talking about players that are completely useless in almost half of all the rounds that they play. Like, it's unacceptable. And now I'm going to push it forward. If we could get the screen page or the team stats of CAG instead, a team that me and Jack constantly talk about playing solo, peak, almost all of them have more. So we have a team that is playing or pretending that they are a team, and they're trying to play on paper strats in FNATIC, going up against a team that keep on solo peaking, and somehow the solo peaking team have better cost than their opponents.
Jack, since we're on CAG?
Fabian's not wrong. Obviously, just to clarify, cost stands for kills, objective, survival, or trade. It measures impact in a round. So 50% cost, you're impactful in half of the rounds. And that's the main point around FNATIC. Coming through to Cyclops is that they're in a difficult position because they try to be this ultra flexible, but yet top team. And they kind of do step C, step B before they've done step A. And they really struggle to find a level of consistency between roles, between maps, between play styles, between absolutely everything in Siege. And they're a bit like a Katy Perry song. Sometimes they're hot, sometimes they're cold. Like, it genuinely, that's what happens with Cyclops time and time again. So if Cyclops are cold today, FNATIC, would I be surprised if FNATIC win? I mean, I would be surprised if FNATIC win, but it would be because Cyclops are cold. If Cyclops come in hot, they will wipe the floor of FNATIC.
One thing is for certain, FNATIC aren't going to explode like, firework.
Well,
I made a bad joke, you made a worse.
Look, we'll see. Maybe CAG, a lot of people want to hear them roar. Maybe this is the game for it. Maybe it won't be the case for FNATIC. Maybe FNATIC feel like a plastic bag and drifting through the wind. So we have to talk. Ms. Catherine Perry, thank you very much for showing up today in APAC North. Let's talk about our map for this series. We got 9 of them. 8 are out and 1 will be left, and that'll be border for this one. I almost said consulate. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? But Skyscraper's been taken out.
Sorry. Do you get Fav against Dan One Kia vibes with this?
Yes.
Done it again.
Look, FNATIC haven't gone to a map that you need basic team play on, but they have gone for a map that you need to be able to shoot. And if there's one thing that border gives you, a team that can create chaos and can shoot, i.e. CAG, will have success.
It doesn't make sense. Can we just go back? It's like, what can I say? It's like you have a Skyscraper map that suits the teams that are good at defending. Skyscraper can be actually quite comfortable for them. And then we have a map where defense absolutely stinks, and that's the only thing FNATIC are good at. And then they ban a map that they technically should be good at, and they allow themselves through onto border. Yeah, I just want to send it to the game.
We've still got a minute to talk.
Yeah.
Can we just do Katy Perry songs?
I mean,
I can't think of any more. Yeah, look, it's rough. It's really hard to find a win condition for FNATIC. And you can look at it, you think win condition is time, win condition is swinging, win condition is this, and win condition is that. No matter whichever angle I look at that, especially on this map, I find a difficulty for FNATIC.
I mean, maybe FNATIC would be the dark horse here in this game.
Is that another Katy Perry song?
Yes. Maybe FNATIC today, this will be the one that got away. Maybe they'll be chained to the rhythm. Who knows what would happen? Or
maybe they'll be made to look like some California girls.
That was terrible. Let's
do not attempt to board a helicopter.
Definitely not. And you know what? Maybe this game will become part of them at the end of it. Thank you so much for checking it all out with us here in the pregame. Let's send it to our casters, and maybe they can be your saviors for today. Ace and Des, enjoy.
There is no thank you there, Des, is there?
Screw you, Milos. That's what it's going to be for today. That was a desk by some measure, but it was a desk, I can assure you, which means, of course, naturally, a game follows just after. Tim, it's our last one of the day. I don't know many Katy Perry songs, not many jokes in this one. We're just going to get into game and do things nice and normal the way it's meant to be done, yeah?
Well, I think the joke we're hoping to avoid is a bad performance out of FNATIC.
I really thought there'd be a Katy Perry joke in there from Tim. I'm so disappointed. She's a bit too new age for you, to be fair, isn't she?
I'm not... Get on with the game.
Oh,
no,
Tim,
you
I've got a bite.
You haven't got a bite. You haven't got a bite. Get on with it. I don't have teeth to bite. I'm too old. Go on. Get on with it.
All right, Tim, we're going into the ban. You're still keeping up here, Tim. We're going into the ban phase.
Let's start some banning phase. We've got FNATIC, we've got Cyclops, we've got a map, we've got border, and that is where it's going to throw down. As Fresh said, this could be a difficult one for FNATIC coming in here. The thing is, I said last week was an important game for them. They sort of feel like they're almost, potentially beyond the point of, looking at fighting for those top spots. It's not going to be easy for them. It has to start now if it's going to do it all. Flores Finca will be our first couple of bans. I think, for me, FNATIC, they've got to build something this stage. They've got to get something started. They need a foundation. That has got to be the priority for them right now.
You were talking about how important this game is, and we've all said much the same here as well. My only concern is, do they know how important it is at this stage? Things aren't going well. That is very plain for everyone to see, and things have got to turn around at some point. Otherwise, what would be a real heartbreaker? I saw Dizzle tweet about it earlier on, that the FNATIC Japan office is now open. They've got doing really well in other games too. To find yourself potentially in a relegation scrap with a team or a name that is so well revered, not just in Siege, but across the entire esports scene. To see them in a relegation scrap would be really quite heartbreaking. So fingers crossed it doesn't come down to it. But again, FNATIC have got to find that recovery effort at some point. Is it against arguably our best team from Japan? Maybe not. But it's got to happen at some point this stage.
This is it, and every journey and single steps and all those sorts of things.
I thought that was a Katy Perry reference then.
No, it's not. Somewhat different. They can
all
all be
like a lyric.
They can all be thrown out there, and ultimately, it does have to start at some point for FNATIC if they want that resurgence. Right now, you feel like, can we give them the good grace of getting themselves settled? As you say, new offices open, Mag in Japan, everything's in place now, and it has to start soon. It has to start soon is the top and bottom of it. Let's focus on the game, though. FNATIC versus Cyclops. They're going to be going to ventilation to begin with. Initiation's a different map. I had the Asian in my head, but it wasn't initiation, it was ventilation. Ventilation and Workshop will be the first one. You can see them already shaping up to hold on to that top floor. They're already expending quite a lot of utility in and around office. Normally, you'd be focusing on sort of directly above the site. You'd be looking at armory, you'd be looking at archives, trying to keep hold of that area. But by extension, obviously, office and fountain can be significantly important as well. They've got the holes opened up, so they've got the verticality ready to go. This is pretty much going to be a complete top floor hold. There is one downstairs on site for FNATIC at the minute.
I wouldn't be shocked if FNATIC are almost trying to steer Cyclops in towards trying to take over armory side, forgetting about archives more so, because office is really well defended. There's mute jammers in there, there's shields, loads of reinforcements, a player or two dancing around. It's a similar story in towards the other side, but the main key difference here is they've already got the vertical holes opened up for them. Now, this is Army Barricade, the Kiba barrier, not going to do too much to stop them for too long, given you can just walk up to it and beat it down, but iGator, he's on a march down. Kind of taking a left turn here when the directions on the sat-nav said straight on. Recalculating, no kill to be found, but wasn't a mile away.
Just a couple of seconds behind the pace there, but it doesn't surprise me too much to see Cyclops paying immediate attention towards site. They had the opportunity there. They looked at it. There's a lot of players on top floor. We might be able to get something, and Gatorada gets something. What a beauty! Manages to find Lily through the barricade, absolutely shutting him down. That's the Jaeger gone. Good night! And that's going to be 5v4 for Cyclops.
There's just no way he had any idea that man was there as well. That's one of those classic, you see players running around, they'll just shoot out doorways, they'll shoot through soft walls, because you just don't know when that kind of situation is going to arise where someone is stood on the correct side of things. Anaton into a second as down goes Chibisu. It's starting out well for Cyclops, and they've still, Tim, got half of the round to play with. They picked away at that top floor defense. Only one's upstairs, one on site or just off site in bathroom has gone down. That leaves Light dug in here on the far side, trying to deal with the aggressor, but can he keep him out? No, he cannot. iGator into another, and Yura's like, guys, the comms have gone quiet, guys. What's going on? I'm in a 1 versus 5. Things are not looking good. Suzushi sticking the plant here as well. This could be a flawless round to start things off, Tim. Sees a man. No. Going to get shut down at the very last second to not quite let it be perfect, but Suzushi got the plant down, and now it's a case of closing out this last man. A great first round coming out for Cyclops.
Cyclops knew exactly where Suzushi was after picking up that first kill, so that is going to be the end of that one. Not the best of starts for FNATIC. Problems there because, of course, fights were won repeatedly by Cyclops. It's not going to help when you get headshot through a barricade. I'll give them that one. There's not much that you can do to necessarily avoid that. But I'm thinking particularly the fighting ventilation that went on. It just wasn't really competitive in terms of a gunfight. And FNATIC, they need to be challenging the mechanical skill of Cyclops here. They need to at least make sure that they're winning inside of the fights.
This is just honestly disgusting. Maybe there was a call of a drone that came through as well, possibly.
I think there's some information there to say there's one archive. So he then opens the window up.
So maybe
I don't know, maybe not. But the thing is, bullets are not... They're not the commodity in this game.
No.
Rarely will you run out of bullets. It's, it happens occasionally. But rarely will you run out of rounds. So they're not really the commodity. So that's, as you said, why players spray a barricade. Who knows? 1 in 100 barricades that you spray will probably get you kill. But every time it happens, it's a kill that you didn't have before. So why not?
Got a little bit of a south side hole coming in here as well. A couple of key reinforcements coming down. A shield inside a CC. Just overall FNATIC here moving these defenses away from the site here by 1 or 2 steps and really trying to give Cyclops something to think about. But like you saw in that last round, there wasn't really all that much to talk about. All I kind of summarised from that round was they were just picked and pulled apart by Cyclops in these little 1v1s and 1v2s around the map that they just won out quite convincingly. And maybe it could be that FNATIC are asleep for the first couple of rounds. We had this in our fixture earlier on today. That was back in game number 2 between Reject and Fav. It did take Fav a few rounds to wake up and get into the game. So don't count FNATIC out just yet. But if it keeps on rolling Cyclops' way, this could be a pretty fast last game.
It certainly could be. Blackray, he's going to open up the top of East Stairs, look to get himself on in. We have the first Occupy call going out as well, just to try and locate any of those roamers that are not so much out in the map, but at least extended from sight. Chibisu manages to get an opener onto Anaton. Better start for FNATIC. Nice aggression from Yura as well, as he just pops his head around the corner. I'll have a little look. I'll have a little kill, thank you very much. And that's going to be a second man for Cyclops down.
I've just clocked that today has been Japanese team versus Japanese team and Korean team versus Korean team the whole way through. There's been no kind of cross-country competition coming in between either side. So again, like I said back in that second game of the day, there's a very good chance you are going to see a lot of aggression coming out of the defenders. It's a Japanese style to go for the jump outs, the run outs, the aggression. You've already seen the kind of results that it's produced here at the start of this round for FNATIC. Suzushi catching Lily on the drop back down towards site. 4 versus 3 for FNATIC, so a better position, Tim. But I don't want to get too excited just yet.
No, there's work to be done because the diffuser's down. Not ideal from Black Ray there, just going to ping out his position, and they see the challenge just coming in very gently from Fountain, but giving away the position if nothing else. So they need to be getting hold of that diffuser, which Suzushi has actually gone and done, so that's at least step one. They can think about putting it down on the ground now. Is he going to go for sandwich window and see what he can find? He's just getting a little bit of yellow ping information, knows there's somebody around there, but the spray down of the barricade does not pay dividends this time. Instead, Cyclops just trying to open up those angles, still working on lines of sight. 50 seconds left to go.
Still that's sit in the 4 versus 3 spot despite having half the round earlier on. But this is where the crunch comes down. It's where they've got to start stepping through. Some of this utility raining on through. They must have an idea that someone's playing at the very, very back. Gadarada moving forward here, lucky not to get caught out by the Outer. Surely it comes through. There we go. 2 big kills coming out for FNATIC. Black Ray left to bring down 3 all by himself. We've seen these 1v3 so many times, Tim. They don't often go the way of the one man. And with 20 seconds left on the clock, a good setup coming in for FNATIC here in terms of how spread they are. This one looks pretty done and dusted.
Even with little time left on the board, still chooses to take out the Maestro. Surely not. You've just got to go for the kill. 12 seconds. Black Ray. Chibisu's low health as well. He's got a good idea. And he's got the pistol out. I'm not sure this is going to end too well. Oh, Chibisu! Just managing to find the drop shot, and the exhale of breath that we see from Chibisu afterwards tells us everything we need to know about the feelings inside of the end of that round.
You're feeling like the prey. Like, from about 10 seconds prior, when you're in a 3v1, like, yeah, boys, we've got this. This guy, he ain't got nothing on us. And then he gets 2 of you. That's when you just kind of drop your pants a bit, and it's like, oh no, it's coming, it's about to get rough. And then sure enough, Chibisu with a wonderful 1v1 to close. That one was a bit more chaotic. It came from those initial 2 kills coming out from FNATIC as well. I spoke about, again, that Japanese aggression that we've enjoyed so far today. Seeing them utilize that, showing the confidence is a big part of getting back into the game. And sure enough, their just reward is a round on the board, even if it did come down to a 1v1.
Alrighty, we head down to the bottom floor. They baited us a little bit. I've written in my notes bathroom tellers, but they changed it up at the last minute, so it's going to be customs instead for the hold. It's still going to be, it's very much similar to round 1, I would expect from the defenders. Going to be a heavy top floor presence. Interesting castle there from waiting area, just preventing the push coming in from that side. Attackers may well trying to get that the detention wall open, direct access of a line of sight into sight, then prevent rotations. But they're going to want to get control of the hatch. They want to control up above, and then they can think about getting that diffuser down, because look at all those angles that have been opened up. We've got holes above detention, we've got holes above the window into sight that's just going to prevent that diffuser going down, so top floor control is a must.
Absolutely. Again, it's been the go-to for FNATIC. I spoke about it after the first couple of rounds, well, after the first round, and we saw it again in the second, right? They're always kind of playing that once-removed style setup where it's not quite on the same floor, it's not quite directly above all the time, but here this one a little bit closer to home. Whereas compared to the Vents Workshop, when their heavy hold inside of office meant they were basically on a direct diagonal difference to where the site itself was. Here at least it's starting up on the top side just above. Again, as you say, playing behind those vertical holes. One of those exothermics already going just inside Passport here to give direct access in towards the site. Now the thing is for FNATIC, that means you've got to be so wary that someone doesn't just kind of slip in through that front door and go hard left later into the round. It's that phantom pressure I always talk about, Tim, of we know there's a massive breach opened up there. We know it's very close to the outside of the map. Someone can be inside there in half a second and we wouldn't know what's hitting us. So you've got to respect it. And it's just about dividing the attention of the defenders and constantly giving them things to worry about.
Cyclops are working on a pinch here inside a workshop. They know there's somebody there. The Book of Irrigator was unable to flip back from the skeleton key quite quickly enough to get those shots landed. But the little game of cat and mouse will continue for the time being as they keep looking for this kill. They know that there was one inside of there, but they've let them escape, Des. They've let them wriggle away, and that is not ideal for Cyclops. It could have been a nice opener. Now then, Light, he's going to find the opener onto Suzushi and then gets downed. Anaton's going to finish him off, and that leaves us now 4v4.
Not so bad that time around. At least there's a pinch coming through, right? You're not letting FNATIC get away with 2 kills in the early round on a run out or a jump out, for example. And you have to be respecting these kind of things as Cyclops. You know this playstyle. You were the one that I referenced in the FNATIC versus Cyclops scrim clip, where Cyclops had 4 players jumping out of windows on Clubhouse all at the same time, or out through doorways. You've got to be able to be ready for that. Things like Claymores definitely help, and Anaton was hoping to catch one more, finds the man and gets the down, and the finish off comes through. Good bit of team play coming out of Cyclops.
Yeah, beautifully worked there. We can see the Smoke canisters just going out to give an opportunity to Anaton to get in and plant. That's exactly what he's going to do. Lily goes for the spray down, but misses the spot. It's Yura, however, that manages to find the man. Diffuser down and on the ground. Going to need collecting. Going to need picking up, and a new attempt, a new plan to try and get this one down is going to be underway. Yura manages to find Irrigator as he opens up that peak hole. That's twice that he's done that and been challenged directly through it. So something that maybe needs to be adjusted going forward. Black Ray, Gatorado, a lot of work for them to do. 24 seconds. We're going to find shots coming through onto the toes, but Black Ray is able to find Yura. 19 seconds. Time is ticking as Lily moves back down those metal stairs. He's going to get a freebie here, surely. There he goes. Spray down onto Gatorado. Gets himself the last as well. Great round from Lily. Good round from FNATIC. And a solid defense.
Yura and Lily especially that I want to give a big shout out to. One, to stop off the planet, and then this awesome kind of maneuvering all the way through sight just left Cyclops a little bit lost, a bit exasperated. Where the hell's he disappeared to? And good use of those vertical angles that we clocked a little bit earlier on as well. That one inside that hallway, a risky position to hold because you can get pushing from behind. Someone can push bottom of stairs. Someone can come from east stairs, for example. But when you can hold on to it and no one's actively challenging you, that is when it is super effective and showing there just how much damage can be done. What I really liked from Lily at the end was the read as well. He'd taken the pot shots and was like, okay, they now know where I am. They know what angle I'm holding. They know that I'm on main stairs. They probably assume now that they're out of vision range, I'm going to come down main stairs and go for a challenge. His read was very smart. Now, luckily for him, Cyclops hadn't read into that. They didn't expect him to come down main stairs, which really at this kind of level you should be expecting. For him to get one a freebie and potentially almost a second straight after, little bit of pain there by Cyclops. Not the cleanest end to the round, and one they'll be kicking themselves for, I'm sure.
More than likely. Round number 4 then is going to see us go into bathroom and tellers. So we get a full tour of Border, seeing all of the sites. We're going to have a heavy office hold, I would imagine, again from FNATIC. Again, similar to what you saw back in round 1, but this time it's going to be more directly above site. Just showcasing the fact that those castle barricades can be used on they're not quite doorways, but on the arches along that main corridor now. Capcan traps as well can go.
I remember seeing
there.
the old proposal for like a fan-made piece. Like, it'd be really cool if you could do.
Was it not Shas?
This. Was it? It might have been Shas.
I think Shas mentioned it.
Sewer,
I think it was Shas that brought it up originally.
Yeah, someone actually did like a mock-up though in Photoshop and then chucked it on the timeline. I was like, oh, really smart idea. And then
here we go.
And behold, here we are.
And it does work well. It does work well.
It does.
Irrigator going to be getting the drones out, as are the rest of Cyclops, just buzzing around trying to get that information, see exactly what is what, where are the defenders. They know they're going to be up in office, but it's just about exactly what the setup is, where the breaches need to come, how are we going to push in and aggress here. They're being challenged right at the point of entry, and that's what you really need to do for successful defences on board. You can't let the attackers get in and get established. This is going to be an important fight at the top of East Stairs. Chibisu just keeping them at bay. Challenge from 2 directions here, but manages to keep himself safe, and this is good from FNATIC.
This is that pressure starting to build though, right? Because Cyclops now know that there is someone on East Main and that they need to be dealt with. He has got support from below is the one thing I'm slightly nervous about here. If Cyclops aren't aware of the player that's just sat below underneath looking to give some support, they could really get stung in the tail by Siru, who's down here on the castle. And sure enough, there goes Black Ray to Yura as well. Black Ray was one of the players trying to hunt down towards that east side, so a good bit of team play coming out of FNATIC, making sure there's redundancy, there is support up on that top floor, and they get paid their rewards.
Irrigator just peeking around through the metal detectors there, takes out the default cam, heading back downstairs. But as you say, FNATIC, we know they've been sort of okay on the defence. It's the second half particularly we're going to be looking at them when they get onto the attack. Can they break Cyclops down? But Cyclops don't want to get too far behind here. They need to be finding some more rounds. Chibisu is going to make that more difficult though, as he finds a kill onto Gatorada. As you say, how low can you go, Des? Manages to avoid the death there and keeps fighting in the round. Yura just playing in behind that barrier. Whoa! Nearly catches himself one on the road. He's going to get one here. This is absolute freebie. There you go. Nice and easy onto the ace. Takes down Suzuki and leaves them now in a 5v2.
Starting to look a little bit sloppy from Cyclops these last couple of rounds. I mentioned that main stairs expectation that Lee would come pushing down or would choose a stairway. Here, they just looked a little bit blindsided. 2 players going down in the break room to a flank coming from the top floor when you know full well they're going to be challenging you again. You're against a team that you have scrimmed so many times that you know what their aggression is like. But Cyclops a little bit asleep at the wheel at points despite how strong round 1 looked. And FNATIC on course for yet another round win.
Okay, so just trying to sort of see, you know, what can I get going here? He's got to try and break this down into 1v1s at least for the first couple. Needs to find himself a couple. You see his head there, he gets the kill. Manages to find Siru, shuts him down, 4v1, but with 7 seconds left to go, highly unlikely, and even less so when Light manages to get a nice long angle through onto Ayagator, sprays him down, shuts him down, and gets the round. FNATIC 3-1, and who had that on their Siege Bingo cards for today?
I always hate doing this and being like, oh, you know, I don't really think it's so much FNATIC doing it, it's Cyclops throwing it, but it's kind of a bit of both, really. And I guess you kind of need to have both in any kind of play for a team to do well and one to do bad. I will give to FNATIC the kind of movements together, the collapsing onto the players on the top floor, capitalizing on the unexpected movements, clearly, that Cyclops simply aren't reading into. They're doing that incredibly well. But for Cyclops, things just feel a little bit slow and a little bit lethargic almost. The drones that aren't watching for these slants coming through, being bitten twice from hallway, 90 hallway in towards break room, just little things like that not quite adding up. It just looks a bit shallow. There's no kind of team direction right now. It feels a bit like, oh, well, we're challenging on towards East Stairs and we've got to get rid of that guy. Oh, I'm dead, guys. Sorry. Yeah, okay, I'll do it now. Right, so East Stairs. Yeah, okay, cool, got it. Looking out for the play. Oh, I'm dead as well. You know, these are the kind of things you've really got to tighten up on. And the real kind of bad thing for Cyclops, they're fighting for one of those top 2 spots. As a reminder, here in APAC North now, only the top 2 go through to the major because the other 2 spots are given to the teams from APAC South. In second place right now, I'm pretty sure it's Reject that jumped ahead of Talon. And now, by the looks of things, if Cyclops carry on this way, they won't even be in the top 4, Tim. And that is not a good spot to be in.
Absolutely not, because
After
you got
3 play days, basically half the season's gone.
I was going to say, with 8 teams, you've only got 7 play days, so you've only got 4 games left after today. And the thing is, it starts taking it out of your hands at that point, Des.
Exactly.
If Reject keep winning, which I wouldn't put past them, then it might just be that Cyclops just can't make it. You know, these top 2 teams, if one of them, for argument's sake, is going to be down 1 Kia, that only leaves 1 spot to fight over. And if one of those teams, somebody like Reject, steps up and just keeps winning, there is nothing you can do. Sandbox, just keep winning. There is nothing you can do about it if you're Cyclops. So it is important that they match them pace for pace at this point. This round, for me, they need to get this. They've had their tactical timeout. They come back in now. 4-1 guarantees FNATIC the half, and it starts to become a problem. Cyclops want to level this up. They want 3-3 at the half, and then they can come in on the defense, and they'll feel confident then. But they've got to get this.
It's just that confidence, I think, of all of Yura and Chibisu who were dancing around that East Stairs, just comfortably picking up kills, not just up close, but also at range as well. Chibisu especially a real threat on the East Stairs, doing a great job so far at 5-1. Similar story for Yura, 6-2. He also was kind of the only real shining light for this team last week. So having 2 of them stepping up is really good for them today as an improvement.
The thing you've got to remember as well for FNATIC is there's going to be an element that could make them quite dangerous here, Des. They've had a difficult couple of weeks in terms of results. Obviously, there's, you know, all sorts been going on with the roster and locations. But even that aside, the couple of results that they've had so far in Stage 2, they've been difficult. And I'm sure they've been difficult to take. So for FNATIC, if they can come in here, there's going to get to a point where they start feeling relief. It's like, it's working.
We can win, guys.
It's like it's working again. It's like, you know, when something fixes itself, you try to switch your computer on a few times and it's not working and you think, oh, I can't afford to fix this, what's going on? And then you come back the next day and you think, I'll just give it a try. And you switch it on and bang, it works. It's that relief, it's that feeling of like, actually, it wasn't broken, we're fine, we're rolling here, we're getting going. And if they start to pick up that feeling, they're going to become very difficult to beat.
So we hit FNATIC's off switch and switch back on again a week later and everything's all right, yeah?
Everything might be fine, Des.
All right, let's roll with that work in theory for now at the very least. Susan Shi trying to work his way in from the east side here as well. Salma's coming out. I think they might find it. Yep, as I say, definitely should be going off at that point. They've kind of been shot off too easily, surely, as no one's inside of office. And indeed, it does go through. So they've got the direct access, the 101 route straight in towards site to plant behind the bomb if they so choose. And that's what Susan Shi is looking for. But like we've seen a few teams struggle with so far today, Tim. You're looking at those nades in the back pocket of Black Ray or something and saying there's some work to be done. He's managed to meander his way right forward here. Forget about the up nades. He's looking straight in for the ups on the scoreboard. Ayagator's going to start things off. Down goes Lily, and out comes the swing once again. Yura on the Azami being caught out around 90. That's the second time we've seen that now.
5 versus 3, 5 versus 2 as Gatorada manages to find Siru. Light fighting back, finding Ayagator, but there are bigger problems at hand for FNATIC here. 2v4, Light taking damage. Chibisu needs to make a move. He needs to hit them on the flank, but Anaton has got it covered. Diffuser going down, but too late is the cry as Anaton manages to find that final kill on a nice long angle through the beepers, and that is going to be Cyclops taking a very important round for them after that tactical timeout and giving themselves the opportunity to level this up 3-3.
Good little bounce back there, I think, as well. It's a nice one for Cyclops. As you said, they had the timeout. This is your time to get things right. If you've had your timeout and things are still going wrong, whoo boy, it could turn into a very long few rounds until you fall to an eventual defeat. But they've shown there, I think, something much better. That little bit of onus to say, right, go. We've got Black Ray walking inside a site. They weren't dancing around looking towards East Airs like, maybe we can get rid of this player, maybe we can't. They had a plan. They executed on it. They had the cuts onto the rotating members of FNATIC back towards site and found the kills they needed. Really good stuff and much more like round one.
Going to be going down to customs for this final defensive round. Then we saw it in round 3. It was a FNATIC win, so they'll be hoping for more of the same. They got themselves a kill straight away, actually. It was Light who opened things up with a nice aggressive kill onto Breach of Detention. So just sort of stuck his head into there, got the line of sight, got the kill, and opened things up pretty well. Another one followed quickly after, and Cyclops were always fighting at a man disadvantage in that round. So this time they're going to be looking to get into the map a little bit safer. I think they'll pay a bit more attention to the top floor. They'll be looking to get that cleared out quicker and more effectively before they push onto site.
Alrighty, let's see how it goes then. Last round of the half for Cyclops. I
saw it coming. I'm not sure what Lily was shooting at there.
Drone?
Possibly.
I mean, was it you or was it Fresh that did it to you?
Oh no, Fresh did it to me.
That's
Yeah,
the one.
no,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
absolutely slayed me without any remorse.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was straight up
Sometimes
headshot.
you've got to take the man to get the drone.
Straight up headshot.
I love this, by the way, because it opens the wall at the same time, even without the nuke jammer being involved. So just a real smart little opening, and there you go. Not too big, not too small. It's like the Goldilocks breach, Tim. It's just right.
That's going to give access directly into site, and that was where the plant attempt came from last time, but it was shut down from above, and that's why I say that Cyclops are going to be particularly keen to make sure that they've got that top floor control this time and not allowing FNATIC, and FNATIC, well, could be kicking themselves if that team kill just sort of plays in against them as the round goes on. Going to have the spot out behind the castle barricade there. I don't know if the wall to the side of it is reinforced or not, but there could be an opportunity for a spray down. No, it is reinforced, so that's something at least. The man inside of armour is going to remain safe for the time being, at least the immediate future.
They're ignoring him. I almost feel like they want to kind of drop just down towards vents here, makes things happen. In fact, notice getting the safe angle behind the desk makes total sense, and we're hoping to find a man there, but he's already stepped away instead inside a small office. Out he comes with a swing, though. I was going to say LMG coming up against the ump. Not sure about that one. Sure enough, it's the entry coming through, or second kill in the round, sorry, coming in for Cyclops, looking really good now. And that timeout, as we said, well needed.
Chibisu playing inside of CCTV again. We saw him in this location last time, taking his choice possibly to drop back down. Tries to hit a fadeaway as he does, but can't find his man. Chibisu taking a lot of damage up there, but Siru, he manages to find Ayagator, not before being shut down from a quick trade as Black Ray manages to find his man. 4v1 as Chibisu tries to get something going, but with such little health, down to about 10, it is not going to be easy for him. This Twitch drone could even cause itself a bit of a problem for him. He's just going to be dancing around, doesn't find the shot that he needs, and they know his location now. There's only two ways out of there, and it's going to be very difficult for him. Manages to find the first headshot onto Gatorada. 1 versus 3 now.
He's had a good game. Do I think he can pull off a 1 versus 4? No. Realistically, those Twitch drones or a drone of some description should be following him everywhere he goes. You shouldn't be going into blind fights, but sure enough, Anaton has a sniff as to where he is and finds the closing kill. A 3-3 half. Pretty fair split overall. Cyclops probably kicking themselves though that couldn't have been a 5-1 or 4-2.
I think Cyclops will feel like there was opportunity to get more there. Obviously, FNATIC giving them a little bit of an advantage in that last round with that early team kill. Maybe not the difference maker as a whole, because Cyclops still went in aggressively and managed to get themselves some nice quick kills. But even that said, I'm sure FNATIC would have rather played it with all of them. So at the half, FNATIC may be feeling a little bit hard done to, and obviously question marks over the attack are going to be explored further now as they switch sides, get themselves onto the attacker border, and the question is, how well can Cyclops keep them at bay, keep them out of the map, and maybe play a little bit of aggression onto them, let them know that they're there early.
And this is where I get a bit nervous of FNATIC, right? Because generally on the attacking side of maps is where you really start to see weaknesses shine. because it's on the attack where things have to line up. You've got to coordinate well. You've got a drone. You've got to try and keep as much utility on side as you can for the eventual execute. You've got to deal with aggression coming out of the defenders. There are so many unknown factors that you kind of have to adapt to in the round, which is why teams on the attack tend to fall apart. So for FNATIC, a team that have had these issues over the last couple of weeks, are we going to see a transformation like we saw in those middle few rounds of the defense, or will it just be a total whitewash for Cyclops?
Top floor setup being put in place then for the bathroom hold. Still a lot of work going on into the action phase. That's mostly because they're spreading themselves pretty thin here. We've got utility all over the place, basically. They're trying to hold on to Armory. We've got some in office, player in sandwich, hatch open. So they're really trying to keep hold of this entire top floor. And it could well be that Cyclops have spread themselves a bit too far here. It is going to be difficult to keep hold of that entire space.
I mean, we're constantly seeing that breach being opened up as well, right? Just inside Passport. It's almost like the golden gateway to get inside the building itself. That's where a lot of focus is coming for both teams on the attack so far. Chibisu is coming from jail side, though, and is now working his way forwards. Might look towards the main stairs, but hole coming in. This gives you a lovely line of control here through much of the map up towards that second floor, but also down across from outside workshop in case anyone is rotating through back towards site.
BlackRay playing in behind his castle barricade for the time being, taking a peek over the top. Break room door could be the challenge for him. Just very conscious that he might be getting pushed from both sides. Does have hatch open though, so can drop back down to customs, but with the breach being open, needs to be careful.
You know, Tim, I still remember the first time I died to that angle in ranked, and it really tilted me. I've just had a flashback there of a traumatic experience.
I've got plenty of them, Des. I've got thousands of them, if I'm honest.
It's one of those where you know it's your fault as well, but you've droned in, you just didn't look high enough.
Yep.
And you're kicking yourself for it big time, and you can't even go, why is he there? Or, oh, that's lucky. You know, it's absolutely not. You've messed up big time.
Yura is in there with BlackRay now, and I don't think BlackRay has got any idea whatsoever. Easy shutdown for Yura there. Did take some damage getting himself inside. Chibisu going to be downed as well. Finished off by Anaton's Toxic Babe canister, leaving us in a 4v4. 1 minute 15 left to go, but Yura's able to start working down the main stairs. But guess who's there? Anaton with a shotty. Kiss, kiss, bang, bang. That's going to be over for Yura as he tries to hit them silently down the stairs. He won't get away with it. 1 minute left to go. 4-3 in favour of Cyclops.
It's the kind of stuff they're expecting here, but FNATIC I don't feel have necessarily started bad. They've got control of that top floor area they wanted cleared out, and now that it is cleared, thing to note, of course, that it is basically the exact opposite end of the map. It's a different floor, it's a different area of the map altogether. Sure, you've got rid of the Roma, but at what cost? So far, there's been 2 players that you've lost. You've only got 3 left to look for an execute, and you still haven't fully broken this top floor hold. You know, Valcams are still being taken out with 30 seconds to go. It's looking rough.
Light just tries to spray through onto the rotation that's been opened up there. Doesn't catch his man. The pressure is going to keep going towards office, but with 25 seconds left to go, I'm just not sure there's enough progress to get the diffuser down here. There is a lot of this Cyclops defense still in place. That's a beautiful nade from Light, though, to level things up at 3v3. 13 seconds left to go. Siru gets in. He has an opportunity to put the diffuser down. Pulls off as he gets killed by Ayagator. 3v2 now. Diffuser down in sight. 4 seconds. Surely this is over for FNATIC. Ayagator knows that the man is coming. Pre-fires, doesn't get the kill. Doesn't matter, Des, as they still get the round, the time, the clock, winning that one for them. Cyclops, they go up once again. 4-3 now.
Yeah, pretty decisive overall there. I think for a second you're like, oh, FNATIC are in sight, they can go for a plant. Yeah, but there were 2 angles contesting and that simply had not been cleared out by the attackers. One was Anaton, being able to get across on that top floor. In fact, no, Ayagator, I apologise. getting across onto the walkway and finding the angle. And you also saw the one from just inside a workshop where you could get up on top and just see through to where that default plant spot is. So even if FNATIC had, say, for example, killed the Valkyrie of Ayagator before he gets in a spot to contest, there's still a second angle, and then you've got to go and pick up the diffuser, challenge that angle at the same time, and stick a plant inside those last 10 seconds. It's just never going to happen. So pretty decent setup by Cyclops. FNATIC not quite doing enough work in enough time to give them the control they needed to get the win.
Moving on to their second choice site, Cyclops will go to ventilation, so they're going to be working on the downstairs once again. Interesting to see the sort of shift away from Armory as well. It's one of those, not always used as a primary site, but does tend to be one of the more popular, but certainly hasn't been so far today. We're going to have a similar castle setup coming out of Ayagator. It was something, again, that wasn't really dealt with in the last round by FNATIC. They never managed to penetrate into the middle of the map, really, on that bottom floor. They had the attempt of Yura pushing down the metal stairs, but it was shut down immediately by Anaton, and they just never really got control over anywhere around that core.
Absolutely not. Let's go then. See how things shape up here in round 8. Again, it's going to be another vertical focus, sorry. This is exactly what we saw FNATIC doing on their defensive side, so not at all surprised to see Cyclops trying to replicate much of the same. Castle has been a very present operator throughout the game. We've seen him in 3 of the first 6 rounds. We obviously just saw him a second ago as well. We're seeing him again now, so really kind of being used to protect these more lockdown areas for the defenders up on the top floor or open up certain walkways for the defenders to utilize. Always love seeing stuff like that.
Eurosdrawn is going to spot out Blackray, but he will spot it out in return. This was the position of his death last time around, but he returns for more. He's not going to be scared away. He's going to try to keep hold of CCTV once again for as long as possible, just flicking left and right. Doesn't have the castle barricades to try and help him out this time, and it's Yura who was his nemesis, was his killer last time out, looking to approach CCTV once again. In goes the drone, looking to feed the information. Yura wanting to be aggressive in behind. It goes straight in, and I like this level of aggression on the entry. There's the position that he needed. Blackray looking for a challenge. I don't think he's aware of the man there. He gives his location away. The spray down from each other through the soft wall. Don't manage to find him. The game of cat and mouse continues.
Surprised that wall hasn't been smashed to pieces yet by both players, spraying a full mag into it. Suzushi finding Shibisu to start the round out. Down goes the sledge, and that vertical destruction being gone. That's going to sting a little bit because they're still looking for the right control above the site, but without any vertical destruction, they might find themselves struggling here. There's no breaching charges on side, for example. Euro does get one back, but I kind of feel like the damage has already been done by the roamers here early in the round by getting rid of Shibisu.
That's exactly it. Suzushi is just holding an angle. He's going to keep himself tight inside of this window. It's a risky location inside of ventilation. Just makes a quick challenge onto the window. I'm not sure how he manages to move across without losing any more health. But 4v4, 1 minute left to go. But the problem here, Des, is FNATIC don't have the vertical. They continue to try to get it, but as soon as they look to push in through this window, they might find themselves just losing lives if Anaton is alive. But that is not ideal. Diffuser going down. Anaton, he can't find his man. He knows roughly where it is. There he goes. He drops him, but with 40 seconds left to go, surely this is not winnable for Cyclops.
The beauty is he knows where the diffuser is. The problem is there's 3 players to now come and push him as a collective, so he can sit and watch that diffuser all day long, but there are going to be at least 2 players starting to close in on him here, surely. 2 players on the downstairs for FNATIC. They sent just 1 man up here. It's Europe by himself, and the vertical angle's being challenged. Anderson gets 1 more, and now he knows about the Nuck as well. Anderson surely wants to try and take the firefight, sees the grenade come through, going to step away, and now goes really close. Oh, could go for the drop. Imagine if he big brains the hell out of this one, Tim. Does he know about the man off towards the right hand side? Yes, he does. No way has he held on to this. 10 seconds still to play. Gets into the air jab. Euro's got to find his man. He knows from the sound where he is, but Anderson, run, Forrest, run! He's out of there, being chased down. Will Euro find the kill? Anderson! He's pulled off a miraculous clutch there, and Cyclops with a not quite well-deserved round, but what a fantastic one to win.
1v4. He has fought tooth and nail for that round. For me, the absolute player that round is the hatch drop. As soon as he takes down and he's 2v1 and he knows that the diffuser's going down again, I just need to get down there and stop it, and then it's a 1v1 and I can deal with the rest. That moment in a 1v4, that was an unbelievable thought process. Just clarity of mind. Clarity of mind was just
We had a phenomenal 1 versus 3. I want to say it was in our game earlier, or maybe it was last week. I can't remember. But that for me probably is across all the regions so far, player to stage that I've seen. Like, that is genuinely unreal.
That's one of the moments. Those are the moments. Those are the moments that you pray for. That's what you want to see.
Look at how close is the diffuse timer as well, plant timer as well. 0.4216.
0.216.
0.2 seconds.
The thing is, if that diffuser goes down, Euro has the vertical. That's it. It's over. It's done. He's not going to be able to retake it. Oh, unreal. It's
like I said, you're in a 1 versus 4 for a time. Even in the 3 versus 1. You try and send 2 players to go for the upstairs because the 2 players downstairs can do nothing except stare through the floor as well and try and look for the man, right? Like, even if one tries to defuse, it's a very good chance he still kills the player holding it, and then the player going for the defuse. Your best bet, and we saw this from Sandbox in the game earlier on, is send 2, if not 3 players upstairs to kill the last man and then go for the defuse. In fact, yeah, it was that last game. It was the Sandbox one not too long ago. But that's when you want to try and send as many players as you can at that player. You can keep one downstairs if you want, so at least you can play for a trade trade, but instead it's 1v1s after 1v1s after 1v1s, and there is just no stopping Anaton.
Blackberry, I think, just hoping that somebody's going to ping out their location by shooting through the window barricade, goes for a little run out on the CCTV door there. Drone going in is likely just going to force them back away. That just tempers the aggression there. Blackberry just continuing that fight, but he's going to actually relocate himself out towards these stairs, and they're just making it so difficult for FNATIC to get in the building at the minute. This is an armory defense, and they're just getting right up in the faces, right on the borders of this map.
They're not going to be kicking themselves because it could have been 4-4. They could have had that first attack that really gets the ball rolling, but no. Yura finding the entry onto iGator. A good start again. And FNATIC have been really strong on the entry so far throughout this game. I haven't got the exact number, but I know it's a good chunk of them. They've kept themselves competitive in the early round and more often than not come out on top. But it's about that round conversion that starts to matter now, boys.
Light just holding the angle there. Ooh, steps away maybe at the wrong time, but it doesn't matter because Lily finds his man. Blackray taken down at the top of these stairs. 3 versus 5, and FNATIC having a much better round this time. But as we saw last time, 4v1 doesn't always mean too much. Gatorada playing underneath that default cam at the minute, just waiting for any push to come along through that rotation out of CCTV. For the time being, it's not going to be Euro looking to get inside a site and challenge. Does so, but doesn't find any shots. That could be a big play. Gatorada gets himself re-established inside of CCTV.
Needs to be careful here about the one on the door as well. I think there's a nade in hand there potentially heading his way. In it comes, doesn't quite find the man, and Yura turns his attention back towards site, fully confident that Light had his back, and have his back he does. Anaton, he's 13 and 14. He might have to do it all over again here as the team's numbers are fading away, but the grenade for the assist gives FNATIC a 4 versus 1. Suzushi, you fancy a clutch of your own, you've just seen your teammate do it, no pressure at all, buddy.
Absolutely beautiful play on the nade following the drone coming in. Suzushi finding those few shots onto the knock but unable to take them down. Diffuser planted, and this is not looking great for Cyclops. There you go, the close down comes in from the archives window. FNATIC managed to keep themselves fighting 5-4 and closer than many might have expected.
Yeah, it's still been a close game, right? And again, it could potentially be 5-4 to FNATIC at this point if that 1v4 hadn't gone so hard against them. That round was better overall, again, with the kind of team play early on, the pinch onto the East Stairs player. Think back to the first half when Cyclops were kind of staring at East Stairs, not really quite sure how to crack it. FNATIC have just showed you that, so take a couple of notes from that one. Bathroom and tell us, round 10, where we go to next.
FNATIC, they need to just sort of keep that level of aggression, I think, going in there, taking gunfights. As soon as they get the man advantage, they look good. You know, if they can get themselves that play where they 4v2, granted they threw away the previous one, but in the last round, they did everything they needed to do. They had the cover there, they had the aggression there, they went in, they recognised the man was in archives, got the diffuser down, took the chances, they had the crossfires. It was much better from FNATIC. So again, they need to go in, get those early kills. It's something that they've been doing well with, you know, getting in there and getting themselves that chance, that advantage, and really put Cyclops on the back foot. I want to see more of that. I'm interested to see how into the map Cyclops play this.
You're about to find out, because once again it's that castle coming along. Make that a good 80% of rounds that we've seen so far now featuring a castle. And again, you're seeing the use case for it where it's about opening up main hallway for the defenders to be able to play through. You're not exposing yourself to East Stairs, it's the critical one, but you can play quite comfortably down towards this 90 area. Thank you very much, Mr. Observer. And also give yourself visibility in towards break room if the attackers push through and knock that one out. So for now, at least you can play at the top of main stairs. You can play like Gatorada did and sit underneath the main cam. You can, if you so choose, get ready and prime that double castle barricade inside the hallway to get broken apart so you can push into office. It just gives a lot more mobility to the defenders there on where they want to play, and also flexibility and surprise potential against the attackers.
Euro nearly getting himself caught out there. It's been a consistent point of contention for Cyclops, having somebody inside of CCTV and looking to challenge onto break room, looking to challenge onto the balcony window, not wanting to give it up too easily. And Euro just taking some of the brunt of that challenge that time around. Going to take a little bit more damage there as well. So under half health now, and the Ash needs to be careful. 5v5 as the long angles start getting opened up in towards site, attacking of course onto bathroom and tellers this time around. Siru, looking to just work that rappel, potentially put a little bit of pressure into CCTV, but Euro's managed to get in and get established, so that's good. Cyclops have been chased out of there. No further damage incurred, but still very nervy inside of CCTV.
The thing is, I said this back in round 7, right, was FNATIC had got this cleared out. They killed a player over here. They'd lost 2 of their own. Both Chibisu and Euro had gone down. And I said, cool, you know, you've killed Aroma. Like, you've lost 2 of your own. You've lost 2 minutes of the clock. Yeah, you're left scrambling, and they had that really awkward attempted plant inside of site itself where there were 2 cross angles being set up by Cyclops. And that clock is already starting to concern me, Tim, because we're down to about 75 seconds. It doesn't leave a lot of time to get a full clear on site itself because you're so focused on what's going on elsewhere in the map.
Yeah, and you just feel like the last thing FNATIC want to do is be giving the map point opportunity to Cyclops. They need to be getting there themselves, if anything. Now then, they're going to open up the breach, which is going to lead to one of the plant spots at least, so that's going to give a little bit of access to where they need, so that gives them a bit more time to play with now. A little bit less of a rush, but they have to deal with top floor. They need to get office cleared out. Euro still pushing in, taking default cams. 45 seconds left to go. They need kills.
There's 3 players still upstairs. Like, they've got nowhere near clearing out this top floor, yet you kill one man, another will take his place, and another will take his place. Euro's still left kind of trying to almost keep them busy so they can't focus on what's going on downstairs, but Light's almost out of it. Euro's down to 40 HP. Will find one entry on the step through. Will he find a second? No, he can't. So Suzu Shi now holds on to that vertical. Again, this is where we're going to see a really scrappy attempt coming in here from FNATIC, and I just worry that CAG have got far too much cover.
Already managed to smoke out the plant once. 4 versus 3, though, as Light manages to find Suzushi. There will be at least one less body trying to deny that plant. Siru going in. 12 seconds left to go. It's now or never. He has to stick this. Is the cover going to be sufficient? As you say, Anaton not able to find his man. That's going to be plant successful. Chibisu manages to find that kill. There comes Black Ray, though. Gets himself 2 on the flank. 2v2. 30 seconds left for Cyclops to do something.
Can they make a stop on this one as well? Because East Airs now is pretty pivotal. He's got to kill the player that's in the waiting area. He's got the right sort of idea and really letting the man cross. The player that was in workshops really should have had that. Gadarada gets himself gatted down. Black Ray, the last one left standing, looking for the player in workshop. A shot through the wall as well. Snaps onto the head. But does he know about the last? Does he know that he's off towards the right? No, he does not. Lily gets the close. And from what looked like a really difficult round for FNATIC, they still find victory.
We now find ourselves 5-5, going all the way to 12 as a minimum. And it is time that we're going to have a timeout called from FNATIC. Despite winning the last 2 rounds, they just think they need to try and cement here. They need to talk about exactly what's going on, what's going right, and where maybe there's been a little spot that there could be improvement.
I think you're going on to the point where you're going into the last couple of rounds now, right? And this is probably the good time to prime yourself for it, knowing that you've got to win 2 in a row, otherwise you're staring down the barrel of overtime. And for those who don't know, if you win in regulation, 3 points for you, 0 for the winner. If you win in overtime, 2 points for you, 1 for the loser. So they may be thinking, okay, well, they've clearly got the momentum. They've won 2 rounds. Things are going okay. Why break here? They want those 3 points. They just want to make sure everything is as reset as possible. The other thing to consider, though, Tim, you're also giving a bit of breathing room now to Cyclops as well. They get the same time to have a conversation. They know 2 things have gone wrong in the last couple of rounds that have led to them dropping 2 of those rounds. So now is the time for them to also get a reset on and think about it. What is it that's really falling apart here? And that last round, again, it was really small things. You're relying on the player in workshop with such a fine angle to stop the man crossing, but not from actually planting himself. You get that kill, yeah, Diffuser is down in no man's land. It's completely out in the open. Anyone will be able to contest it really on the side of Cyclops, but they didn't have that opportunity because they were being challenged from Harry Potter at the bottom of main stairs as well. So good overall for FNATIC. They're also using that sort of split of having 2 or 3 players attacking at the same time from different places, and it is keeping Cyclops asking questions.
FNATIC are going to sniff a real opportunity here. They're going to know that there's blood in the water, and as I said, it is about getting themselves a foundation, something to build from, and what better foundation than 3 full points. We'll get back into game very shortly and continue with this one, but 2 rounds of regulation left to go. As you say, I'm just not sure on the timing of the timeout here. Is it just taking the foot off the gas a little bit when FNATIC have managed to get themselves some momentum and really start sort of kicking it up a gear? Is it going to be something that they can maintain after that time out? They've been going in, winning gunfights nicely, created space, got the diffuser down, and I think, you know, really it could be harmful to them.
Well, Tim, I'm pretty sure in the little game show you did back at the major, one of the worst places to find a cat-can trap was in the bathroom, was it?
It was.
Well, Tim, we're about to find some in the bathroom, so it's going to be one of those places. Thank God there isn't a wedding around, hey, Tim?
It was a wind-up, that. Absolute wind-up.
What was? Well, that's what the problem is. I think it is a pretty inconvenient place to find a cat can trap is at a wedding.
I mean, it is, but the problem was, with that, I was allowed to answer first, thinking it was siege related, and then as soon as we went on to the next answer, it was like, well, no, think more broadly, think around the world, and I was like, all right, this is great. I was stitched up.
Been told to kipper, mate.
I was stitched up. Ridiculous.
Not salty about it at all, though.
No.
Absolutely not.
Still wake up sweating thinking about it.
Alrighty, once again, that Valkyrie coming along here. We've seen it for most of the half, actually. I think, in fact, on both of the bathroom defenses, we've seen it employed. So it makes sense now we're going back here for the third time that Cyclops would want to bring it again. The difference being it's a different person playing it this time. Anaton previously has played on the smoke. That's now gone over towards Suzushi, who was previously playing on the mute. And now iGator is playing on that cat can, as mentioned. Is it worth a big, massive team change around just so you've got a cat can on side? I don't know. We're going to find out if anyone on the side of FNATIC just finds themselves charging into it. The nice thing you've got is you haven't seen a cat can all game so far. So unless they spot it, absolutely there could be some nasty surprises waiting.
Yeah, and I mean, FNATIC are going to be keen to get inside of the map. They've been winning the gunfights. We've seen Yura doing it already, moving into challenge CCTV, looking to do the same again after the drone goes in. He's not going to be far behind it, knowing that there's a player there to be chased, as you see there, straight in on the Twitch this time instead of the knock, but just looking to get aggressive, get into corridor underneath that default cam and just take hold of that power position for now. CCTV will be sufficient, knowing that he's chased the man away. Actually just going to change angle of attack here, sending the drones in just to see whether Armour is viable for a push or not.
Yeah, we want to make sure they've got this control of like break room area. We've seen this a good few times now, right? Last time, or back in round 7, sorry, they wasted a lot of time on this side of the map. Here, at least they're moving players back, and you want this control of like waiting room, break area, so on and so forth, to make sure they can't contest onto east stairs, because that is where the entirety of your plant is based. You get that wall opened up, you back out and hold the angle. You saw that on the flank on east stairs from Cyclops in the post plant last round that got a couple of kills for them. That's why you want to hold it, and that's why FNATIC is so sworn on holding and controlling this in the walkway.
Capcan Trap's just going to be taken out by Lily there. It may be that they don't want to push that way, but don't leave it up to chance in case the late round dictates that you have to make a change to the expected. Chibisu, he's going to be trying to push through into office. Knows that there's a shield there. Black Ray with a great kill through the soft wall. Headshot onto the man pushing him, and that's just going to make them a little bit more secure up there. Iagator with one onto Lily. 5 versus 3, and the FNATIC attack is crumbling a little bit, but Light, he manages to put a band-aid over it with a kill onto Anaton, and that might just give them an opportunity to get that top floor control that they need.
That's probably where you're asking questions there. You know, Black Ray, his movement in this round has been sublime. Felt he was being droned out, was being pressured, shoots the drone, immediately drops away. Fortunate to get a kill on the exit out through as well, which is absolutely brilliant, but then Anaton has kind of overstayed. So the people that were hunting down Black Ray just turned their attention onto Anaton instead, who had overstayed his welcome in office, and they lose a man for free. I really feel dropping away at that point. You've got a couple of kills already. They're down to the last 50 seconds. Get all 5 on site and just play a nice, safe defensive round. Don't overstay.
This is it now. It's all for Cyclops to just wait. 20 seconds left to go. They can't do anything until they know where the push is coming. Down the hatch, Siru is going to try and get that diffuser down. Looks like he might actually be successful here. There is cover in place from above, and exactly that. There is nothing that Cyclops can do. They're going to have to go with the retake instead. Shots fired up through the hatch. Not going to quite find his man, but they will ultimately be downed, and they're not quite 100% sure, but Suzushi's going to take the risk. And they know, I think now, yes, there you go. There's the jump out, there's the kill, and there is the disable of the activated diffuser. Cyclops are going to be the ones that get the opportunity to take this in 12.
Which would be the expected outcome, but I don't want to take things away from FNATIC because they have had some really good rounds so far today.
Better performance.
I almost feel like a 2-1 wouldn't be miles away. I know there's been some really messy rounds throughout as well, but a couple of them have looked really good, I think, and actually finally seeing FNATIC playing as a team, moving with a bit of pace there, constantly looking to disrupt the attackers as well, has been great so far. And here on the attack, it wasn't even a bad execute. They just lost a good number of gunfights. A few players hit the deck, and that was it, done and dusted. Hopefully they battle back here and get at least 1 point, but Cyclops will be looking to take everything here, as now, which side are we stepping into, Tim?
We're going to be into Armory, Des.
I didn't see, that's why I asked the question.
Not ideal.
Didn't win it.
Not ideal for FNATIC. to be honest, as you say, FNATIC did win it on the attack last time, but we expect it to be a strong side. So if you look at this map and you think, right, where are Cyclops going to be able to lock this down and close it out, you would think that this is one of the opportunities for them to do that. But we'll see. FNATIC have played a better game. This has been the best performance, I think personally, that we've seen out of them in Stage 2 so far, and it's nice to see just a little bit more of that ability that we know we've got in the roster just coming and actually showing itself this week. So can they hold on? Can they get themselves around, get them into the overtime and at least steal a point away? We'll see in the next 3 minutes, but for the time being, we're going to have Cyclops trying to lock down this armory site. Banshee placed on the main stairs, going to prevent any push up there. We have seen quite a bit of action around that main stairs area from both teams attacking onto this site, so not a bad spot.
I thought for a second they were playing 2 or 3 players inside of CC, which feels definitely far too excessive, unless you are planning to get back very aggressively towards site within the first 30 to 60 seconds or so, but absolutely not the play. The thing is with this site, the interesting one is they've left it half soft on this wall. Like, normally, obviously, that would get double reinforced off electrification, whatever you try and look towards. With the Kai banned away, they've kind of said, well, look, okay, it's gonna get opened up. It's not a problem. We'd rather be able to challenge out there and make this work. And Yura's already found himself hitting the deck. Not yet out, but at least down. Does Blackray dare? Does he dare go aggressive here on towards the right? Do they have any idea? The issue is the laser gate will also give you away there. The attackers will be hearing that it's off, and sure enough, Chibisu was being present.
Yura back on his feet, 20 HP, a lot of damage done though, and Cyclops looking pretty steady so far. Gatorada's in an important location here. As you say, half of the wall is left soft, so they really need to be holding on to CCTV for as long as possible, because once Gatorada is gone, there is no deterrent then from going in and opening that up. Light manages to get Blackray. He was the other player trying to support Gatorada. There's a lot of pressure coming into him, and surely his days must be numbered. It's just a question of whether he can take any with him.
Well, he can vault his way through here, but look at it. There's essentially 2 or 3 angles he can get challenged from. The balcony itself, the window, break room as well. There's just so much that can work against him. Finds one, will get the finish off, but gets taken down himself. The 1-for-1 appeal, when you're already in numbers disadvantage, not worth it. Out comes the late round run out from Irrigator to get one back onto Siru. 3 versus 2.
It's definitely possible for Cyclops here. They just need to hang on, but they could really do with Irrigator getting himself back towards site now. He's going to keep trying to hassle the flanks just briefly, I think, but as he gets down to that final 45, maybe 30 seconds, he's going to be wanting to be there. Now then, does he dare go for the run out again? There's a ping information fed through to him. Whoa. Shots exchanged in both directions. Chibisu getting away with his life and light, able to take the man down. We've seen it done from Cyclops before, but unlikely that they win this one in a 3v1. FNATIC, you've got to just shut this down. Chibisu it is to close it out, and FNATIC taking Cyclops to overtime.
And again, both teams walk away with at least a point, and I don't almost want to say FNATIC are already out of the running, because they're absolutely not. There's still more games they can play and can still fight their way in. But for Cyclops, again, given how tight it's starting to look at the top of the table with Reject and Talon up there battling too, this is the kind of game you'll look at and go, okay, FNATIC, bottom of the table, and we've dropped a point to them already. At least 1 point dropped. It could be 2. Time will tell in the next 3 rounds, but come that end of the stage, Tim, when we're looking at round difference, people who are 1 or 2 points apart, this will be the game that gets remembered. Certainly
could be one that we're looking back to. You know, you can't always, it's easy to look at the last game of the stage and think, oh, we didn't get what we needed on the day, but you have to look at every single matchup and whether you should have got more. At the beginning of the stage, coming into this one, you'd have said FNATIC were one of the teams that could probably compete with Cyclops. It's just the first couple of performances that has maybe given us that impression that it wouldn't be the case. Right now, Cyclops, they need to battle. They need to realise that they're playing against a slightly different beast than the one we've seen over the last couple of weeks, and they need to just knuckle down and get this done. Not ideal for them in a way that they're going to continue on the defence. It was 3-3 in both halves, so you'd look and say maybe not a huge advantage to anybody, but they're going back to a site. They're trying to hold areas of the map that they've already lost. It's downstairs that they're holding on to, but it's not going to be easy for them.
Call me a bit of a cynic here. I was going to say, when I saw those countdown traps going down again onto the break room door, I was like, in the last round I thought it, but I didn't say it out loud. I was like, surely they're best going on the other side, knowing that FNATIC always attacking from the west. If we take a look at that catwalk door for a second, Mr. Observer, I don't know if it's easy or medics, I do apologise. What they've got is 2 of the countdown traps are coming in on the west side here, but what we've seen is FNATIC always push into actually CC area and just see those for free and shoot them out. They have got one on the other side, which is a nice little adaptation in this round, but those are so easy to see, and I don't think those 2 are going to do much damage. It's almost like you're expecting FNATIC to come in onto the walkway and then step out towards the side. it's not going to happen. We haven't really seen that being a thing so far. I believe their focus has always been, again, coming in on CC's side and sweeping their way across.
FNATIC have attacked onto this site twice, Bathroom and Tellers. They got a win in the first one, round 10, round 11. They didn't. They did manage to get the diffuser down, though. It was still close for them. Iagator, he's just going to be down there trying to make a nuisance of himself inside of Customs, just roaming around on that bottom floor. Basically playing anywhere but site at the minute, Cyclops. They've got some upstairs, they've got some in Customs, they've got some lurking around Workshop, but they're just trying to really spread FNATIC thin here and force them to clear a lot of the map.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be, really, right? We've seen it time and time again, just force them to run through the gauntlet, essentially, have them doing the whole thing. I think we've seen that site, what, 3 times in the half, I want to say? Yep, 7, 10, and 11. 2-1 to Cyclops overall in that case, but again, you should be more than aware of what the push looks like. Shibisu finds one, but the trade straight there. Good bit of team play again coming out of Cyclops.
That is exactly what they needed. They just need to make sure that they keep on top of FNATIC, keep it level, don't let them get the advantage. As I said, that's when FNATIC have played at their best, really. Apart from that one round when they've had the 5v3, the 4v2, they've been able to go on and maintain that pressure, generally speaking. So Cyclops just need to make sure that they keep trading, keep themselves in it, keep that 1-for-1. Yura, he's going to open up the hatch from Customs, so a little bit of verticality is going to get underway here, but they need to be careful because there's still defenders up on top floor. 2 men are holding on to Fountain and Office, and that was a little bit of the undoing last time around when they managed to get the diffuser down but couldn't hold on to it. Nitro goes out. Iagator not going to get any joy with that one.
It's a chunk of himself there with it too. Yeah, last time around they had 3. In fact, in the round I think it was FNATIC 1, there was still 3 players from Cyclops upstairs, but there was only one that could possibly contest the plant angle. Lily, that LMG does just not stop singing, gets the kill onto Iagator, and 2 kills going the way of FNATIC suddenly gives them a massive swing here. So sure, there might be the numbers on the side of FNATIC, and Cyclops a little bit unknown it feels. As now BlackRay, he's looking to go on the hunt and find this man out towards jail.
Yura and Lily both low health. BlackRay really needing to find a kill here if they want to come back into this. 17 seconds left to go, and I think there's going to be a position where the diffuser's going down very soon. It looks like Siru might just be moving in. Like that's likely going to be the trigger as he manages to take down Suzushi. Exactly that. Siru goes in to get that diffuser down, but not before Light finds the second, takes down BlackRay, and that could be the opportunity FNATIC have been looking for. They've got a match point.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Cyclops will be kicking themselves if they lose this. Again, I know we kind of spoke about it earlier, but after that sort of 3-round deficit, to then pull 4 back on Cyclops' side to move up to 5 and 3, they were commanding the game. And since then, FNATIC have found 4 rounds, Cyclops just the 1. It has not been pretty. We do keep on going onto that bathroom site, and that has been a constant same strat approach from FNATIC in pretty much every single one of those rounds, but Cyclops still seem to get surprised and blindsided by members of FNATIC popping up in places that we've already seen across the last few rounds. So really kind of the agents of their own demise here. Bathroom Tellers again, proving to be the most popular site in this game, is going to be where we head to for what could be the last round and for FNATIC's victory here in week 3.
Let's have a look at how FNATIC did when defending this site previously. Round 4 was their only attempt at Bathroom, and not pretty for Cyclops. It was a FNATIC win. So, although they've only done it once, it is a 100% record for them on the day on Bathroom. So, they try to hold on to Office. They need to hold on to Office, but also the bottom of these stairs waiting area. They need to make sure that they're not giving any access in to Cyclops. Cyclops, I think, need to bring a bit of aggression here.
Yeah.
They need to get up in the faces of FNATIC. We've seen them roam clear well previously. Just get in, win those gunfights, clear them out at top floor. Don't let them get too comfortable.
Yeah. Again, for me, I referenced this earlier in the cast, but the big issue last time Cyclops attacked this site was they got inside of CC and break area, and then we're trying to look towards East Stairs, but it was that kind of, you know, well, we know they're there somewhere. We can look at it for long enough, and hopefully we get the angle. And twice, they got flanked by a player from FNATIC, pushing down 90 and picking off the player completely blindsided. They were lacking drones. They were lacking any kind of cover. There was only ever one man inside of CC at a time, so it was just far too easy to pick them off. So we need to see much better team play coming out, and already we're seeing 2 sprinting through, almost catching the man on 90 and still looking for that kill.
That's the aggression that I was looking for from Cyclops. It doesn't pay dividends just yet, but what it does is put FNATIC on the back foot. They're trying to fight. They're trying to keep themselves in there. Black Ray are going to take a lot of damage, more so than Yura. And Chibisu as well is in there trying to support his man. They are scrambling here, FNATIC, as they are forced to run back down the stairs, and that looks like it's top floor control to Cyclops.
I like it because they had 3 players all contesting around 90. It was keeping Cyclops at bay. It was reminding them, hey, we are a thing here. Black Ray's down to about 25 HP, and they were committing a number of drones. I mean, Tim, look at it. We're barely 75 seconds into the round. They've only got 2 drones out on the field itself, so they've done a really good job of at least hammering away through some of that information game for Cyclops, and that is where FNATIC will start capitalizing with these roams.
I love that FNATIC have dropped back after that immediate pressure, but then Chibisu getting himself back up the east stairs. They're not content to just let Cyclops have anything. They're trying to get back on the flanks. They're trying to keep them guessing, trying to keep hassling them. Don't give them anything. Don't allow them to be comfortable, and that is fantastic. Lily's going to be underneath in customs. No nitro in hand, so there's not going to be an opportunity for him to get a vertical kill here, and he needs to be careful as the angle starts getting opened up by the buck of Ayagator.
I think the defense is just really good. Think about how many times FNATIC on the attack got control of waiting area and then managed to push inside a site. That's just not a thing because you haven't got control of this custom supply area. This front 3 of FNATIC have moved as a unit all round long, from top floor down to bottom floor, and just kept asking questions of Cyclops. And I'm concerned here, Tim, that it's not going to have the necessary structure to pull off and execute in time.
We hear a nitro ripped there. It's going to be deployed. I think they're just waiting to pull the trigger, but the man moves away. There's not going to be an opportunity to find a kill. It could well be that they're waiting for anything to happen with the hatch. Chibisu going to take damage, and that's something that they've done well as well. They've taken chip after chip after chip of damage, but not given lives away until now. Ayagator manages to find the opener, takes down the 4, and 30 seconds left to go. And this is the time now for FNATIC to step up. They need a hero. They need somebody to find kills, and it's a freebie for Lily. They just don't know about him inside of jail, but surely the repeak is going to be here, and that is the frag. Anaton manages to find Lily. 4 versus 3, 9 seconds left to go. Diffuser in the hands of Suzuki, needs to get in, gets a kill, but will be shut down. 2v2. It's up to you, Siru. Keep fighting. 1v1. Time ticking down. Gatorada planted, but surely Light knows this. Moves around. There's the kill. There's the win. FNATIC with an unexpected 2 points.
Beautiful last round as well. I was commenting throughout that front 3. Cyclops again with the misread on the attack of this last time round on the top floor. They didn't expect the 90 push. There was no drone. Here, they get 1 person inside a supply and think, that's it, job done, we found the roamer. No, there were 3 of them greeting you at all times. Unless you can confirm the other 2 are back on site or are pulled really far back, you have to assume they are still around somewhere. And it's a wonderful play by Lily. I know he's bottom of the kill feed there, but that doesn't matter. He's found a critical kill. He slowed them down, and Siru got that kill as the plant was coming in once we hit that last 10 seconds. And when you come down to those kind of situations where it's literally I'm planting, clock's on 0, every second that has been wasted throughout that round counts.
It adds up. That's exactly it, because you're forced into that opportunity when you might not be quite ready for it. So, fantastic play from FNATIC. Nice to see them get something out of that. Get themselves rolling after 2 difficult first games. And there you go. They've got something. Cyclops, ooh, not looking great for them in the run for the major. Already could be difficult.
It's like you said, if you're assuming that you've got Dan Wonkia taking one of the top 2 spots already, that only leaves 1 spot here in APAC North. And games like this are the kind of ones that will bounce back and bite you later in the stage. We'll go to a quick break. When we come back, Desk will break it down for you.